Football is back, and we start with the defending champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, opening the season at home against the division rival Dallas Cowboys. Philly returns a top 5 rushing attack led by Saquon Barkley. Dallas comes in retooled with their offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer promoted to head coach and fresh firepower at wide receiver with George Pickens. We're going to take the Eagles to win in this one by 6. However, the spread that I would take is Cowboys plus 7. In week 1, teams seem to be rusty, so this is going to be a close one. However, overall, we think the Eagles are going to win. And then on Friday night, the NFL heads back to Brazil with the Chiefs and Chargers clashing on international turf. Kansas City is looking for their 4th Super Bowl in 7 years, while the Chargers are in their 2nd year of the Jim Harbaugh era. Expect points, speed, and a crazy atmosphere in Brazil. The Chiefs come out swinging right out the gates, as we're taking them to win by 4 in this one. Matt Nagy said that touchdown at the end of the Super Bowl last year to Xavier Worthy is the kind of stuff that he wants to implement this season. They're going to be a heavy vertical passing offense, so we're taking the spread, Chiefs minus 2.5. And then on Sunday, in Indianapolis, the Dolphins bring their high-speed offense against the Colts defense that struggled to defend speed on the perimeter last season. Miami seems to be fully healthy, so there's no reason to believe that they don't go back to contending for a wildcard spot. The Daniel Jones era has begun for the Colts, but it remains to be seen how long it'll last. Not sure why the spread is Colts minus 1. I understand the Colts beat the Dolphins last year, but that was without Tua Tagovailoa. We expect the Dolphins to win in this one by 8. A revenge game for Aaron Rodgers as the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the New York Jets. If you're expecting Rodgers to light it up in an act of fury, let's take it easy for a bit. Both defenses were top 10 in sacks last year, so both brand new quarterbacks are going to be under fire all game. Expect field position battles, punting duels, and dare I say, a defensive touchdown to swing the outcome. We expect this to be a game-winning field goal game. We're taking the Steelers to win by 3. The safest bet is to take the Steelers minus 3 on the spread. You may not believe it, but this could be an offensive shootout between the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Carolina threw the ball at one of the highest rates in the league last season, while the Jaguars will implement a heavy offensive attack with new head coach Liam Cohen. Not to mention, both defenses gave up chunk plays in 2024. Expect fireworks from two teams who are better than you may think. We're going to take the Jaguars to win in this one. We expect it to be close, but we're taking the Jaguars to win by 3. The Arizona Cardinals head to the Superdome to take on the New Orleans Saints. The Cardinals defense gave up the most plays of 20-plus yards in 2024, but things have vastly changed. Arizona could quietly have a top 10 defense after their offseason additions. Spencer Rattler got the nod as a starter, but we'll see how comfortable he is after practicing with the first-team offense all offseason. We don't expect this to be close. We expect the Cardinals to beat the Saints by double-digit points. We're taking the Cardinals to win by 10. Another NFC East matchup early. The Giants versus the Commanders. Last season, Jaden Daniels took the league by storm, and with another weapon in Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin locked up, a better sophomore season is on the horizon for Daniels. The Giants upgraded with 3 new quarterbacks, so another second-year superstar, Malik Neighbors, is also expected to ascend, much like his LSU teammate, Jaden Daniels. Week 1 can be a little rusty, like I mentioned, so the Commanders we expect to still win. However, we expect it to be kind of close, so we're taking the Commanders by 5, but overall, this is a pretty risky spread. Down in Atlanta, it's a battle between the 2 NFC South favorites, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Tampa brings back most of their 2024 playoff squad, with Emeka Egbuka filling for Chris Godwin for the time being. The Falcons defense has had some serious pass rush issues for quite some time, though adding 2 first-round edge rushers in Jalen Walker and James Pierce may turn their fortunes around. But it may not be enough, as we're taking the Bucs to win in this one by 5. The Cincinnati Bengals roll into Cleveland in a classic AFC North battle against the Browns. The Bengals were top 5 in explosive plays last year, but it was their defense that was their Achilles heel. The Joe Flacco-led Browns seem like they're chasing points all game long, so don't be surprised if they take advantage of the struggling Bengals defense. Theoretically, the Bengals could win by double digits, but like I said, the Browns are going to be chasing points. We're still taking the Bengals to win by 7, but expect the Browns to kind of keep it close. The Las Vegas Raiders travel to Foxborough, where Mike Vrabel's Patriots have invested into the offense this offseason. The additions of Will Campbell and Travion Henderson will have an impact early this season. Meanwhile, Pete Carroll has done his own revamping with the Vegas offense, as a familiar face in Geno Smith has Chip Kelly and rookie Ashton Jeanty to work with. This will probably be the closest game that could go back and forth either way. The spread right now is Patriots minus 2.5, but I'm taking the Raiders to win by 1. Over to the late afternoon slate, the San Francisco 49ers take on the division rival Seattle Seahawks. Both defenses ranked top 10 in takeaways last year, but the edge goes to the Seahawks defense with the addition of DeMarcus Lawrence. Mike Macdonald's philosophy this season is to play tough defense and win time of possession through the run game. It might be tough to keep the Niners off the field with a healthy Christian McCaffrey, who's apparently looking like his usual self. Even though the Seahawks are playing at home, they are the underdogs. We are picking them to win. Seahawks by 4. Out in Denver, it's the debut of the first overall pick, Cam Ward, as the Tennessee Titans visit the Denver Broncos. We all know Denver is poised for a high-scoring passing attack led by Bo Nix, but the same could be the case for the Tennessee Titans. There will be some growing pains as a rookie, but Brian Callahan loves implementing a vertical offense, so expect to see several intermediate to deep passes in this game. The Titans could put up a fight, however, I'm going to go with the heavy favorite in this one and take the Broncos to win by 9. The spread to take here is Broncos minus 8.5. At Lambeau Field, it's the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. Detroit finished top 5 in rushing yards on the road last season, but the Packers just added Micah Parsons to boost their already solid defense. Some say Green Bay is a favorite to win the NFC North, given the Lions lost both coordinators and Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. The loss of both coordinators is going to have an effect on the Lions early on in the season. That's why we're taking the Packers to win in this one by 6. The Houston Texans head to LA to face the Rams in a matchup loaded with great offensive talent. While questions still surround the Texans' offensive line, the Rams themselves have been a topic of discussion with Matthew Stafford's offseason back injury, which reportedly won't be an issue. A game that could truly either be high scoring or a defensive struggle. We don't know how it's going to go, but I am taking the Texans to win in this one by 2. The Texans are the underdog, so it is a safe bet to pick Houston, the spread, plus 3.5. Sunday night gives us the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills, a playoff rematch in the highest projected scoring game of the week. Buffalo opens as a small favorite, but Baltimore improved heavily on the defense in the draft. It's a battle between last year's 2 MVP candidates. This feels like a January game in September. We're taking the Ravens to win in this one by 2. In my opinion, the Ravens have the tools to make a deep Super Bowl run, so they start off strong on Sunday night. And then finally, Monday Night Football between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. J.J. McCarthy has big shoes to fill, as Sam Darnold showed that anyone can thrive in Kevin O'Connell's system. That remains to be seen until after this game. Meanwhile, Ben Johnson had the offense rolling in preseason, so expect huge things from Caleb Williams this year. We expect the Bears to light it up on Monday night and win by 6. Despite them playing at home, they're still the underdog, so this is one of the more safer spreads that you could take. And don't be surprised if the Bears defense causes some havoc for J.J. McCarthy.